So it looks like Thor 5 is in development with Taika Waititi returning to direct.
It's happening again.
I'm sure we'll be fine. So, One Take News, thank you for grabbing this news. Thor 5 is definitely in development with Taika Waititi. Now, this comes from the Thor Love and Thunder, the official movie special book. The Hollywood Handle has elaborated a little bit more, saying that Taika Waititi reveals that the villain will be more powerful than Hela, who we remember from Thor Ragnarok, who I thought was a brilliant villain, and was really sad that she died in the film, to be honest. I really wanted to see more of her. I thought she was really interesting, you know, next to Thanos. I think she comes second place, to be honest, and I know gonna get a lot of hate for that and everything, but she was a compelling villain, and Cate Blanchett did a fantastic job. But why am I so concerned about it, as you saw at the beginning there? Why am I concerned? Well, let's be honest, Love and Thunder was not great, and overall it was not great, basically. I appreciate Taika's sort of style, I do, and I think Ragnarok is a fantastic, not just a Marvel film, a fantastic superhero film. It just changes the game, it just flips it on its head, and it goes, well, here's a different way of doing Thor. And I really like that Chris Hemsworth is into this as well. He's always talked about like how he wants to develop the character, but also to develop the world that he lives in. And I really didn't like this film. I really didn't. Now, one of the best parts of the film, as we all know, and I think we can collectively agree, and I feel was a wasted opportunity, to be honest, was Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. Absolutely terrifying. Fantastic scenes in the film, especially all the black and white moments like this screenshots from. Really great, but really underused. Such a compelling villain that could have branched out into the other films, the next Thor film, but I just feel like he's wasted. I feel like he could have been kept around. I thought Bale just did a really, really good job. And I know Bale's talked about that he did it because of his kids and everything that like the Marvel films. But yeah, just such a waste, basically. Like I said, Chris Hemsworth has been very, very vocal about, you know, the character. It needs to exist. You know, the character needs a purpose to carry on. And not too long ago, it was actually in one of my last videos, which I'll link in the info box below, but I actually spoke about how Chris Hemsworth talked about why Ragnarok was really important when that was just coming out in interviews, why they had to flip it, and then obviously they carried on with Taika for the Thor film here, the Thor 4 film here, Love and Thunder, and unfortunately it didn't quite work, and not a lot of people respect this film. Taika is a fantastic director. I love Taika. I can't wait to see what he does with Star Wars. But this film made me a little bit more concerned about that. But I trust him, and I'm glad he's going back to his indie movies and everything and doing bits and bobs. And he's exec producing like every single show. 100% faith in Taika. But it does concern me. It really does, because we're going to get the same thing we got here. Remember, there were reports coming out that Taika was just goofing around every day on set whilst they were filming this and didn't really direct, really. That's what I heard anyway. If it's wrong, then let me know. But that's the rumours, that Taika just wasn't really directing. He was just goofing around, and he's a solid director. He really is. You can see that in his other work, in What We Do in the Shadows. I think it's Boy or Boyhood, one of those films. And Walking with World People, was it? Oh god, see, the titles just escaped my brain. But What We Do in the Shadows, one of his best pieces of work. I don't even know if he directed it, just wrote and produced it. I'm not quite sure. But Taika is definitely coming back, and it looks like they're going to be bringing a more compelling villain to the franchise, to this character's next 5th film, which is so weirdly unheard of, isn't it? You don't really get 5 superhero films based around the same character. So it's going to be interesting what the villain, or who the villain is going to be, and how I think the tone will change again. I think that's another thing we have to consider. We can't just think negative. We can't just think negative that Taika's coming back with Thor and he's going to do his whole silly spiel again. We need to think that Taika can adapt. And Chris Hemsworth playing the title character will make sure Taika and Marvel agree to adapt to a different tone, and I think that can definitely be done. Granted, the tones fit the storyline of both films, like the worlds they go to and the people they meet, but it's time to go to a different part of the universe and see who this powerful villain is, and introduce new characters, introduce new Avengers if possible. So yeah, I'm not super hyped that Taika's coming back, but I have faith. I have faith in him and Hemsworth and Feige. Let's just hope Thor 5 is something completely different, like he did with Ragnarok, and not just reusing what he's done before. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this? Taika returning to Thor 5 and a new villain? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, that really helps me. Thank you for watching, and for Asgard, that was cringe.